Did they get married in Pennsylvania?
Oh yeah, they got married in Pennsylvania.
So as soon as he came back to Pennsylvania, was she already there? Or he was
Her
there?
dad was there from Montana, then he got her, and then she come there.
Okay, so as soon as she arrived, they got married?
Yeah, as soon as she arrived, she got married.
Was
Yeah.
any of your brothers or sisters born in Pennsylvania?
I think Bertha might have been born.
Oh, no, Bertha is the oldest, right?
I think Bertha was born in Pennsylvania. Now you got me on that one there. Yeah,
When they got married, set up house, and then decided to move down to Cambridge.
yeah, because they see wherever there was work, that's where Dad would go. And
Oh, wherever they were opening up new coal mines. Like.
yeah, or whatever those days, you know. So Dad could always get a job. And Mr. Kovalich, which was, you know, this Kovalich that used to come here, you know, remember? Jim Kovalich, they used to come here with Mary Kovalich. Remember they were here? They come to the picnics and stuff here. Andy, that's their dad. Him and Dad were buddies in Europe, see. So he ended up in Cambridge, Kovalich, Andy Kovalich.
Uh-huh.
And every time, wherever Dad went, Andy would go, he'd follow Dad. Because he knew if Dad got a job, Dad would get him a job, see.
Oh,
So that's how it happened.
So
So
your
he
dad
was
would get
always
him
working.
in.
Yeah, he got him in, so
And
it
Andy
always
would-
worked.
and then-
As soon as his dad got a job, he'd say, well, I got a good, hard-working guy here, he needs a job. And more or less, if you take him, I'll go to work. If you don't take him, I won't go to work.
Oh.
But anyhow, that's how they had it fixed up, I guess. So anyhow, they worked in Cambridge, they went in Belmont County, which was in the Yadnota paper here. I gotta get all that stuff from Yadnota and cut it out. And he ended up working in Belmont County.
Is that Cambridge?
Yeah, it's Belmont County is east on 041. But they got what? 77 goes into Wheeling now from Columbus, Cambridge. The 77, the big route?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well, it used to be 041, it's still there. So they used to go from Cambridge, used to go work in Belmont County. And they'd work here all week, go home on a weekend. And I'll never forget, Dad used to come home with no bags, bread, real big loaves of bread. There must have been a bakery in Belmont County there that baked this bread, you know, like they bake it now in, what you call it, Stop and Shop, you know.
Uh-huh.
But they had these real old ovens built out of brick, you know. And he'd come home with a big load of that bread, you know. And that stuck in my mind. That bread, as soon as he come in the house, you could smell it, that bread. You take that bread there, you take butter, we had a lot of butter, you know, and boy, you put the butter on that thick, you know, and you'd eat that bread.
Now, when they went from Pennsylvania to Cambridge, did they just like, they moved into your house?
Yeah, he
That was
bought
their first house?
Yeah, he bought that.
So they just went right from Pennsylvania right into that house?
Right, they bought that, I think the house was already up, but then he redone the whole thing, you know, he added on.
He dug the basement.
They
Remember you
dug
told
the
me that
basement
story,
a long,
yeah.
long time after.
Yeah.
They had, I don't know if the barn was up, but he put up a barn there or whatever was up there. And he got himself some pigs, chickens, ducks, geese, cows. He raised himself a steer. He had veal, a young calf, you know, he raised it, fed it with milk. Boy, when you had those veal chops, you had veal chops, you know.
Yeah.
And pigs were raised out of excess milk from the cow. They'd go downtown and get all that bread that was a day old, and mix it with the milk and give it to the pigs. And I mean, you talk about feeding the pigs like a human being, you know. And but that's how.
They said it was pneumonia, and you believe it?
I don't know what it
You know what I mean?
So where were we?
That's what my mother
Oh, hold on,
said.
we can talk about that later. Where were we? Oh yeah, you guys,
Oh.
Grandma and Grandpa just got married in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah.
And then they moved to Cambridge.
Cambridge, yeah.
Okay. And then
It's funny.
Cambridge, Dogtown. It was.
for the
They moved to Dogtown.
coal mines, right?
Every time I say Dogtown, you know.
That's my grandmother and grandfather.
Dogtown.
My great-grandmother and
You got that
grandfather.
on now?
Yeah, it's on.
Oh, it's been on all the time?
Yeah,
Holy God.
not the whole time. It's But anyway, okay. So you got to that point. Okay. Then they bought the house that you lived in.
Yeah.
And that's where they lived the whole time there.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, like a one-room house or something?
No, they had,
2 rooms? I remember I was down there
one,
once or twice.
2. He added on the whole house, I mean, the back end, which made it another house.
And when I
big.
saw it, it was as big as it ever got, right?
Yeah, they made it on,
Oh, hold on.
they made it on to that, you know.
Save it. We'll do it. You bring it all out and share it with everybody. We'll take pictures of it.
And then he worked in the, what you call, National Coal Company, which was a big coal company at that time, National Coal Company. It was, they owned a lot of mines down around there.
So when he left Pennsylvania, he got the job there.
Well, that's where he went to work.
He worked at that one company for all his life?
No, he ended up working in Mariette. Then they would slow down and lay off, you know, because they shut the mine down, no business, you know. Then he'd go to Belmont County, you know, which is
So wherever they had an open mine, he'd
yeah,
go.
wherever they had the.
It was all like within driving distance?
So he'd go up there, he'd get a job there, work, and then if he seen things were picking up at home, he'd come back and get a job again. Cause he used to be able to do anything, you know. If they asked him to lay a track, he'd know how to lay a track. If they asked him how to run this big, iron horse, I called it, that's what they call it down there. Real big motor, real low sucker. You see them on movies, you know, see a movie in a coal miner, you see them real low things, and the guys got their heads down in a cable, like a streetcar cable, you know, and the sparks are flying up there, you know. Well, that's 440 volts up there.
Okay.
And he's up there, he's got that controller, parallel. Parallel means wide open, you know, you go like a bat out of hell. And the track is going like this, you know, it's real narrow. And I used to ride that sucker with Dad. He scared the shit out of me, that thing, you know.
Take you for a joyride?
Yeah, he took me for a joyride. He'd pull that sucker off parallel, you know. And you see the track in front of it because it had a big light in front of that iron horse, they call it. And
Oh, how did he know when it was going to end?
well, he knew the coal mine just like if you surveyor knew just where everything was. He knew everything. He knew where the hell they're going. He knew where each entry was, a room. He knew where all the coal's coming from. He knew where all the main entry was, the main entrance and the end, you know. He knew all that. He had that all in his head. He didn't have to have no map, surveyor's map, and tell him, here you go, here's so many feet there, the, what's it called, level of the land is here and all that shit. He didn't have to know that.
So what point?
He wouldn't know how to read the
How many
map
brothers,
anyway,
how many
you know.
brothers and sisters
Yeah, why
did
don't
you
you
have?
start with, okay, they got married,
Yeah.
and how soon after, and who was...
Bertha is the oldest one, right?
Bertha's the oldest.
And how soon after they were married?
Well, you got me on that.
Alice?
I don't know.
How soon after, the firstborn?
I don't know
Who?
how soon.
Firstborn, Bertha?
Bertha?
Bertha,
Yeah.
How soon after they were married?
I don't have any idea.
Oh.
I don't know when, I don't know.
Okay, well, she's the oldest.
She's the oldest, I know that.
Yeah.
And
She's, then come, then come Mike, he died, didn't he? Mike died. One of the boys died. Yeah.
how many years after? I mean, how did they space the kids?
Down there, they had them boom, 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 you know.
Every spring?
Everybody had them.
Every spring like bunnies?
That's how all the families were down there like that.
So you're probably all a year apart?
Probably, yeah. I'd say a year apart, yeah. Year and a half the most.
Who came after Mike? And he died? How'd he die, at birth? Or...
Yeah, they claim,
Okay.
they really don't know what he died from. They claim he had,
At birth, or he lived for a
no,
while?
he lived a while, didn't he? Some of them died right at birth, didn't they?
There was one that was 17 and he
Yeah, and they don't know
broke
what
his back and he died
yeah,
in a lake. Grandpa told me.
yeah,
Well, that's a little bit than dying at birth.
yeah.
Okay, who came next? After Mike?
Then come, Mary. Right? Mary come after that, right?
Mary's the one that disappeared.
Yeah. She's somewhere in Akron. There's a whole family in Akron.
Oh, she's still alive?
Oh yeah, she is.
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows? How you know
She
she's
just
alive?
left
How you know she's alive?
because she went to see your mother when your mother was dying.
Oh.
And who's next?
Who said she went to see Mom?
They did. They told
Oh, you mean she seen her alive?
Yeah,
She did?
sick
Wow.
in bed.
I didn't know that.
Well, it was time, wasn't it?
Well, I thought
Died.
Mom died in the hospital.
Well, she's seen her in the
Because
house.
nobody called me up. Yeah. So then was Mary. Then it came me, right? Then in between, had twins. They had two sets of twins, or three sets.
3 sets.
3 sets of twins?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Jewel and Betty are twins.
Yeah, they're still living. That's
One's brunette, one's blonde.
Yeah.
George is a twin and Mike is a twin, and
Yeah,
each
but
one of them died.
They died, yeah.
What, when they were young?
Yeah, they died of infants, I guess.
Oh.
Infant
Infants.
pneumonia. Everybody had pneumonia
Yeah,
down
but
there
that's,
because you couldn't keep it nice.
Oh my God, thank God we didn't.
So how many kids were there all together?
14, wasn't it? 14,
Yeah,
14 and 12 of them,
Yeah,
11, 12, 14. Must have been 15 then, right? The 3 died?
yeah.
Jeez,
So that'd be 15, and 12 lived. 12 lived,
Wow.
12, yeah.
That was like the Wild West.
Yeah,
I mean, no medicine, no nothing, huh?
no,
And
right,
so-
that's right.
Your mom passed away before your father, or
No, she passed away, what, 2 years after?
after?
Something like that, yeah, 2 years
So
after.
your dad passed away.
She passed away when we had the big snowstorm, you know, when 77 was closed up, they wouldn't let you on 77.
Mhm.
Let's see, 78 she died. Yeah, because I just bought that car just before she died. Yeah.
Well, we
And
should
would-
probably
never
go
got
back
to
to-
Cambridge.
You should probably start with what you did at home. You know, how far back you can remember when you were a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, how far back can you remember?
Yeah.
What's
When you were a child,
What's the
it's time to
earliest thing?
start you.
You know what I remember? Well, I'll get it to that later. I was gonna say there's one thing I remember when I was
I
a
can
little,
remember-
little infant almost.
I can remember from the time that I was, hey, what, 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
I can remember hauling hay in the barn in the hay mow with 2 logs there, you know, one guy in the front, another guy in the back. You stack it up and you haul it to the barn.
Yeah.
You know, you stack the hay up because you had the,
Was it like a ladder or something?
well, you had a ladder inside of the barn. And,
No, no, I'm saying how'd you hauled it on a
yeah,
ladder?
just 2 pieces of wood, like pieces of wood.
Oh.
And they were limbs cut off the trees.
You stack stuff on top.
You put it on the ground, you stacked the hay on there this way, and when you picked it up, you lost a little bit, and the rest you carried. You carried to the barn, and you put it up in the hay mow there, and you done that, all summer that was going on, because you cut 3, sometimes 4 cuttings of hay you had. If you had a late fall, you had
Yeah.
nice
Cuttings.
clover stuff in the
So,
late
so
fall.
when you were real little, they made you carry the hay.
Oh yeah, I worked.
Okay,
right.
describe your house.
Yeah, right at the house.
Describe the whole house.
Oh, the whole house
Yeah.
was.
The whole house. Describe
Had
the
a
house
porch
that you
like you
lived
see
in.
now. They're all coming back with these porches all around the houses, you know.
Gotcha.
Well, there was one in the paper yesterday, I think it was.
Screened in or not?
No, not screened in, no.
Okay.
This is a porch all around the whole house. Then they had another porch on one side, which was on a roadside, like, you know, because this was your road. I mean, that's, and that had those little flowers growing there. What they call them? That used to run up the wire?
Morning glories?
Yeah, morning glories, okay. Different color shade.
Wasn't your house at the end of the road, right?
Yeah, well, ours
What was
was at
the name
the
of
end, plus there was one up on top of the hill
It
yet.
was the hill.
Yeah, that was Novotny's. That's the ones that Dad used to take to church all the time.
What was the name of your street? Did you have a name?
No.
No name?
Hollow.
Dirt road.
Hollow. You know what a hollow is? You go in there, you go yodel, yodel, and the hills
Oh,
give
okay.
off the echo.
Really? So no address?
Route
how'd you get your
6
name?
Cambridge, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
Route 6 Cambridge.
So it's the Cooper Family Route 6 came.
Yeah, that's what you had, yeah.
Came to your house, man?
No, they had a mailbox down. As you turn off the road, like, which was a county road, the trustees, you voted for trustees like you do here for county commissioners and stuff, take care of roads, you know. And off of that road is where your road went, you know, that's where you live. And they had mailboxes down, you could not get your mail. Yeah, I used to go down, I used to sell grit paper, grit, you ever hear of grit? No. Well, we see this someplace. Huh?
Vaseline.
Yeah, I used to
some
sell-
kind of salve.
I used
Like
to
when you were a
sell-
kid, like?
When he
Yeah, I
a
was
little
probably
boy.
like 7, 8 years old.
Well, how'd you get this stuff?
Or ordered it through the catalog from this Grit magazine. Someday, I think a magazine is still it's been published. It's in Pennsylvania somewhere. Somewhere we bought one. Where the hell was it? I bought one.
Southern Ohio.
Man, they ripped me off that sucker. I used to get them I used to sell them for 5 cents.